I've had 15 placements since I've been in care. The last 2 of those happened in the last 11 years, which means I had 13 placements in between the ages of 0 and 7. And at no point between those, although I might have been young, immature, whatever you might say, I still had a say in what goes on in my life. I should have, well no, I didn't. I should have had a say what goes on in my life. Unfortunately, my mum passed away, and especially because of that, I should have had some insight, some sort of input. Like Richard said, I should have been consulted about what was going to happen next in my life. And it never happened. I never, to this day, I can't really tell you why I've moved from any of my placements, only my own interpretation of it. And that was genuinely to do with behaviour. I'm not a bad kid, but the stigma was that I was a bad kid. And I ran with that. I really did run with that. You're not meeting the same child that even was here 2-3 years ago. I'm a completely different person. And I really think that should be changed. I think people should know why they move. You can't just pick someone up and go, right, come, right, gonna plonk you here, bye. You can't do that to someone, because when you go home at 5 o'clock or whatever you do, they're still there. You're there with your wife and your kids and whatnot, but they are still there, they're still living it. And like I said, the point of this was I really just needed to tell people what it's like when you go home, when you clock off at 5:30. I want you to know what it's like when I'm still there. Dolores is the manager of where I live, and I've lived there for 4 years now. Before I moved there, I slept in a police station for 3 days, not in the cells, but outside. The social service said to me, right, truthfully, the only place we have left for you is a children's home. And I went, I'm not moving to a children's home, because I'd only been in foster up until then. As boneheaded and as strong-willed as I am, I slept in a police station for 3 days. I will say that that was not a very well-coordinated move, although by fate, it was a good move in the end. It's not the way it should be. Like, I should have been able to go there first of all and meet the people who live there, because since I have lived in residential care, within the same company I've moved houses, but I met the kids before I went there. I saw the house before I went there. I chose the room I wanted. That is so important. The place where I live now, it feels like my home. I feel like I belong there. I'm wanted there. And I feel that is extremely important. It really could just be coordinated a lot better. The care system in itself has not prepared me for adulthood. It doesn't have anything in place to set me up for adulthood, in particular apart from, oh, you have to move on at this age and this gets taken away from you at this age. My life could have gone a completely different way. I've been so blessed to meet lovely people who when I'm the one who's upset and I'm really going on a downward path, they're the ones to go, what are you doing, boy? Just come on, like there's so much more you could be doing. You've got people made me realise my own potential. I think that's a big part of growing up and going into adulthood, because you have to know what you can do and what you can't do. No, care didn't prepare me for that. Care in no way prepared me for that. It was the people, the lovely, strong people who were around me who prepared me for my adult life. And at the moment, I'm living it. Like I said, I've completed my AAT level 2. I'm working in accounts at the moment, and like it really is down to the people who are around me. I can't. She's gonna get a bit embarrassed and all, but I can't thank Dolores. Like, she's been my rock for the last couple of years, and that's all it takes. Someone needs to be there, be behind you and say, realise your potential, boy. That's how I feel I was prepared for my adult life, as long as it's short-lived as it's been so far. My school life hasn't been brilliant, to be honest, because when I was younger, they tried to statement me, they tried to put me in they actually did try to put me in special needs schools. People thought they knew what was better for me than I did, when all I needed was a little someone to understand me. I just needed someone to go, no, he's not a bad kid, he's just got a few problems. Like, I just needed a little bit of help. And to be honest, when I finally found those people, like I said, they are really 1 in a million, but once I found those people, like, I was able to go through my school life. Like I said, I got kicked out of a private school in year 11. I went to a PRU after that. I went to Kingston College. The teachers, they were really understanding. I went there with no qualifications. At that time, I was doing naughty things. Like I was doing things you really wouldn't have agreed of, but They picked me up and they brought me out of it. I went from a children's home to semi-independence within the same company, and I've had the lawyers to help me the whole way. The transition from children's home to residential it's weird. All of a sudden people start taking things away from you which you normally had. They start saying, no, you can't have this, you can't have that, you've got to go and do that, and you've got to start doing that. It should be more of a transition than dumping someone into it, because I was quite lucky. Like when there was times of me being a semi-independence when I spent all my money or I didn't have food, I had people there to back me up at the same time. So they'd say, oh, what are you doing with your money, boy? Okay, I'm gonna go take you for some takeaway, just don't do it again. The transition from being a child to becoming an adult should be a bit longer. It really should be, because it takes easing into, especially because if you were living at home, your parents would be giving you money, they'd be supporting you, but out here you're on your own. You might have people behind you, but mainly you're doing everything by yourself, and it could just be a really lot longer. I now work in accounts. I work for a company called Finance Plus. They're part of a bigger umbrella company called the WPP, who are the largest advertising and marketing corporation in the world. That's really what I see myself doing. I'm at a low level at the moment, but I'm getting my experience and I'm working my way up. Love yourself, because the first step to committing to something you want to do, is to love it. Committing to bettering your life, you have to love your life. You have to love yourself. You've got to want. I didn't just wake up in one morning and someone said, oh yeah, you're on an accounts apprenticeship. Oh yeah, now you finished it and you've got a certificate. I had to work really hard. Absolutely minimal. Being young, you don't really notice it, because obviously you're young and you do what adults say. So they say you're going here, you go there. But getting older, you really do realise how the decisions they make affect your life. As I got older, very angry, because like I said before, it's my life. I should be making my own, well, not my own decisions, but I should be guided to make good decisions, not just have decisions made for me which people think will better me. Because who knows, like I'm 5-10 years down the line, the decision that you might have made could really drastically affect me. And I'm angry. Every person, every placement is different. You don't know whether you're going to put that kid, you might see on paper, yeah, that looks good and that looks good, and it looks like they're going to gel, but it just completely breaks down. It's not really something you can particularly look for. It's just when I step into a new place, you can see, if you're watching my reaction, you can see how I am towards it. If I'm smiley, if I'm happy, if I'm excited, I'm obviously loving it. And if I'm loving it, like I said, you've got to love to go forward. And yeah, like I don't do your job, so I can't really tell you what to look for. All I can say is, when you put a kid in a place, you'll know if it's going to work. 1, 2, 3 weeks down the line, you'll know if it's going to work. If you see, okay, this kid's not responding very well to this placement, maybe what we can do is try and I don't know if this works, because I know there's procedures and stuff like that, but you could say, all right, we could take him to respite in another place for a night, 2 nights, see how he does there. If the boy's doing well and he's gelling there, leave the boy where he is and don't return him to the other place. Just get his stuff moved, because he's obviously doing well there.
But ask him first.
Yes. Communication, not just what you say, also how often. That is one thing I've had with social workers throughout my whole time in care. They don't call me. They don't call me enough. I want them to call me every week. How are you doing, Glenn? How was school today? Da, 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 da. Like, if this person's going to be making decisions in your life, or helping you to make decisions in your life, they've got to know how you're doing. They've got to know you on a level. They've got to know you on a level. And to be honest, I don't think that's done enough. Like I said, most social workers, they do their thing, they have their 30 kids and they clock off at 5 o'clock. They just go, oh, I've got loads of other cases to be dealing with and stuff like that. And it's like, no, you're dealing with me, a human being. I feel like I should feel as such. I don't know what other advice I can give you, to be honest. That's personally what I felt, what has worked. When a social worker's come to me, I feel like I know that social worker. I feel like that social worker knows me, and that social worker even once or twice, every couple of months says, "Do you want to go out for something to eat? It'd be nice." You know, it gives you that connection with them. Really does.
Thank you.